Hello, everybody, and welcome to this formal welcome and congratulations webinar that we have for all of you. Good afternoon from Sweden, but whatever time of day you have, greetings of the time of the day. Thank you for taking the time to join us today, and this is because it is a formal welcome for you, and we are very proud to have you here. My name is Abhilash, and I am one of the student support team members here at Chalmers that have been in communication with you throughout this time of your application and being admitted at Chalmers. Today, I'll also be your host for this webinar. We have with us today the Vice President of Education and Associate Professor of Electrical Power Engineering at the Electrical Engineering Department, Jörgen Blennow. We have the President of the Student Union, the Chalmers Student Union, Sebastian Wikström, and we have the President of the Student Organization, Chalmers International Reception Committee, also known as CIRC. Varshaa, Kumar, if I remember correctly. To start things off, we are here to celebrate a milestone with you. You've been admitted to Chalmers. Your hard work and your dedication has shown us that you are, of course, great students to have on campus. And I'm 100% sure that you will make absolutely 100% use of all the opportunities you have at Chalmers. And we just simply want to welcome you to our community. Thank you very much for the hearts. Please, of course, use your reactions as much as you can during the different presentations you'll hear today. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly go through some housekeeping rules. You may not have noticed this, but if you have, it doesn't matter. We are actually recording this. So that first line is actually wrong. We are recording this webinar, but it is for internal use. Primarily internal use. We will not be opening the Q&A for you up until the end of all the presentations being done. And so we will be not accepting any questions at this point in time. Please wait with your questions until we make that possible for you. Yes. Next, feel free to contact us through study@chalmers.se. That is the email address that you can use to get in touch with us. You have always received emails from us through that email address. So if you've already received an email from us, simply respond to that. In fact, the invitation you received to today's webinar is on that email address. So you can reply to that invitation if you have any questions, and we will be able to answer you. You can also chat with us through our chat on the website and also with our student ambassadors. You also have this QR code that's on the bottom right there that will allow you to join the community that we have on the same platform called UniBuddy. This presentation will be sent by email. At least parts of it will be sent by email. So keep an eye out on your email address, and keep an eye out on your spam box, because sometimes our emails end up in the spam box. Now, I assume that all of you can hear and see me, because I saw some reactions already. So with that, I don't want to waste any more time. Just a quick final piece of information before we see the Vice President. The schedule is as follows. Today, we have a formal welcome from 3 to 4. It doesn't have to be an entire hour. It might actually be much shorter than that, but we have blocked the hour just in case. And then, of course, there is the possibility for tomorrow, where some of you have received an invitation for the morning session in the Swedish time, that is 10 to 11 a.m. CEST, because we've just moved over to summertime, and then from 3 to 4 p.m. CEST for others. And that webinar will be about the practicalities of starting at Chalmers. With that said, I'd like to welcome the Vice President, Jörgen. Thank you very much, Jörgen, for joining us. Please take it away. Jörgen.
Now I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, but maybe even more importantly, future students at Chalmers University of Technology. Today, I'm really filled with great joy as I address you, the new cohort of international master students who have chosen Chalmers University of Technology for your advanced studies. On behalf of our entire university community, I extend a warm welcome to each of you. At Chalmers, we are renowned for our excellent education and research, with strong ties to industry and society. That ensure that ensure the skills and knowledge you will acquire are not only cutting edge, but also highly relevant and actionable. These collaborations offer unique opportunities to tackle global challenges, equipping you to make substantial contributions in your respective fields. The value of a university extends far beyond the confines of its campus. It's a place where future leaders, innovators, and thinkers converge to not only gain knowledge, but to challenge it, to shape it, and direct it towards meaningful change. At Chalmers, we are committed to contributing to this legacy, fostering an environment where education and research serve as catalysts for progress, innovation, and societal transformation. Central to your future experience at Chalmers is our vibrant student union. It plays an essential role in creating a dynamic community, offering numerous activities, support, and opportunities to connect with peers and engage in the broader society. This enriching student life complements our academic rigor, fostering a holistic environment for personal and professional growth. In closing, remember that you now are a part of the Chalmers family. We are here to support you, to inspire you, and to celebrate your achievements. I encourage you to embrace the diverse perspectives you will encounter. Challenge yourselves, explore new ideas, and push beyond your comfort zones. This is a time for growth, learning, and discovery. Your time at Chalmers is not just a pathway to professional achievements, but a journey of personal development. I am confident that your time at Chalmers will be both transformative and enriching. So, welcome to Chalmers University of Technology. We are thrilled we are thrilled to have you with us and look forward to seeing you this autumn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jörgen. That's very, very, very nice of you. We will now move on to the president of the student union, Sebastian Wikström. Sebastian, would you like to turn on your camera and take over from Jörgen?
Thank you, Jörgen,
once again.
And thank you, Jörgen, for the introduction. So I'm going to be talking a bit about the Chalmers Student Union and why I believe that it is the best student union in the entire world. So who am I to decide that? Well, my name is Sebastian Wikström. My field of study is biotechnology. And right now I have the role of president of the student union. I'm from Mölndal, which is right outside of Gothenburg, and I'm 23 years old. So we're going to be talking a bit about the vision of the Chalmers Student Union, campus life, what do we do, and what can you do once you get here to Chalmers and get involved in the union. So first off, our vision is that all members should thrive and develop during their entire time at Chalmers. This is our central motto, and it's in everything that we do. And how does this actually manifest itself? Well, we mainly work in 3 different areas: educational awareness and influence. We do student welfare and campus life, and also career and business affairs. So in all these pictures, you can see a bit of a taste of what we do in the union. And we mainly do this on our two different campuses here at Chalmers. So we have campus Lindholmen and campus Johanneberg. Campus Johanneberg is the main campus where most of you are probably going to be studying, but we also have campus Lindholmen for some of our master programs, as well as the maritime educations. So on the two, here you can see the two different campuses, and we're going to start off with some of our restaurants and cafes that we offer on Chalmers, which you can see on the blue arrows here. So all of these blue arrows indicates different restaurants and cafes that we in the student union operate. And all of our restaurants and cafes offer discounts when you are a member of the student union. So you get 50% on coffee, fika, on lunches, and so on. So it's really good to be a member of the student union. And also, we have quite a rich student-led life. So here on the red arrows, you can see all of the different pubs that we have on campus. So they are all student-driven, or some of them are student-driven, some of them are operated by our restaurant company. So there's a lot to do on campus and a lot that you can get out of it. So a central part of the student union is the student union building. It was first built in 1952 and remodeled and rebuilt in 2001. And it's a whole 11,000 square meters. I think it is the largest student union building in at least Northern Europe. I'm not 100% sure if it's in the entire of Europe as well. So in the student union, or in the union building, we offer quite a lot of different membership services. So as a member of the student union, you own the student union building, which means that you have access to it 24 hours a day. We have a swimming pool and sauna that's open for everyone, a gymnasium, study rooms, study places, a music room if you're into playing piano or guitar or whatever. We have pool tables, affordable meals in our restaurants, a pub and a beer hall, a bookstore if you ever need to buy course literature or pens and papers, a prayer room, and quite a whole lot more. We also have a recreation area in Härryda with quite a few saunas that you also can book. And of course, the student life is a central part of campus. Here you can see a picture from a so-called festu kalas or party, which are held 6 times a year, where you close down the entire student union building and it all becomes a giant nightclub. As we can fit almost 4,000 people in here at once, and it's a great occasion for all students to attend. And then we also have Härryda, or our recreational area. So it's open for students to book. We have 3 different cabins and 2 saunas that's open for booking by all students. It's quite cheap, and it's nice if you want to have a weekend getaway or so on with your friends. So it's open for every member of the student union to book. And so we've touched on a bit of the topics that we do, but here are the main things that we actually work with. So as a student union, one might say that the most important thing that we do is in education. So we monitor the education here at Chalmers. We do some lobbying to make sure that it is kept at the highest level, and we represent all students in all the different forums at Chalmers. But of course, we also have the student welfare and campus life. So we work a lot with ensuring that you have a good study environment. We work with student well-being to make sure that if you have any concerns or so on, there are people who you can talk to. And of course, we have recreation and social activities, which I'll get into more later. And also for career services, we have quite a few job fairs to make sure that you can find a work after you're finished with your studies, and also different recruitment services to make sure that you can find a summer job or an internship or so on. And of course, for member services, we've already touched on that. So how do you actually get engaged in the student union? Well, as a member of the student union, you can take part of committees and societies, both in the central union and from the different student divisions. And the student divisions are groups of students who are responsible for one or multiple different programs, which are grouped together to form a singular unit. So for committees, all of the student union committees have a set mission, and they are elected by the student union board. So, for example, we have our Chalmers Film and Photo Committee, which take photos of different activities at campus. We have a Pyrotechnics Committee, a Reception Committee, which you will hear more from later. And a whole lot of different others. We have around 20 committees that you can join. And outside of that, we also have societies that don't really have a specific mission, but they are groups of students who have a common interest and want to do something. So in the picture, you can see our sailing society, which is one of the societies that we have here at Chalmers. We also have different orchestras, choirs, chess club, we have coding clubs, and so on. So this is a good way to get started if you don't want to join a committee, which might have a higher amount of time that you have to put in. So a society is more for everyone to join, and it's driven by interest, basically. And one of the new things that we have in the student union is project engagements. So it's for new activities where you can apply to get some monetary compensation or get help to book the different facilities in the student union. And you can basically try out the society structure without starting a society, which has some bureaucratical things that you have to do. So you can get some funding from the student union. We have around 300,000 Swedish kronas that we put out each year for different types of new engagements in the student union. And of course, we also have quite a lot of sports at Chalmers. Our CIS, or the Chalmers Sports Association, is responsible for keeping all of the different sports committees and societies in line. So you can take part of sports in a lot of different ways, partially through Fysiken, which is a student-owned gym, which I'll talk a bit about more later. But we also have some separate sports team within a lot of different sports. For example, soccer, golf, sailing, as I mentioned. We also have a hockey team that competes against other universities in Sweden. And Chalmers is a national sports university. So if you want to take part of sports on a high level, Chalmers is able to help you accommodate your studies with that as well. And I talked a bit about owning a gym. So we own a gym together with some of the other student unions in Gothenburg. And this picture is from Klätterlammet, or the climbing gym that is associated with the gym, where you can take part of different training sessions and so on. And the best part about the student union is that if you feel like there is something missing, you don't really feel like there's a society for you, we always want to start new activities at Chalmers or in the student union. So if you feel like something is missing, just send us an email or something, and we will gladly help you start a new society or a project engagement. Because we feel that an active student life is the most important thing here at Chalmers.
Thank you very, very, very much, Sebastian. That's the management team, isn't it? That's your team.
Yes. So we are 9 people who take a study break and work full time to ensure that all the students at Chalmers feel as good as possible.
Wonderful. I have a couple of questions just to clarify things for our audience. How is the student unions organized? How is the student union organized compared with the university? Are these two separate organizations, or how is this? Are you under the university somehow?
No, we are two completely separate organizations, and it's basically our role to make sure that the education for our students is good at Chalmers. So we are not governed by Chalmers. We are a completely separate organization.
Wonderful, wonderful. Also, another question about this recreational facility that's it looks like it's somewhere in the forest. Is it somewhere in the forest?
Yeah, it's right next to a lake. It's in Härryda. It's maybe a 20-minute drive from Gothenburg. So we own the entire area with the land and everything. We have since the basically early 1900s.
Okay, wow. And what's this I hear about the sauna having been burnt down a few times?
Yeah, that's the electrical engineering students who have maybe partied a bit too hard, forgot to put out the fire in the sauna. So it's a wood-fired sauna that all students can take part of.
Yeah, it's a wood-fired sauna, isn't it? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wonderful. Well, I'm sure there's a bunch more questions for you, as there is probably for Jörgen at the end of the webinar. So please stick around and let's move on to Varshaa. Varshaa, thank you very much for joining us. Please take it away now.
Hello. Hi, I am Varshaa from CERC. I am also a master's student here. Firstly, congrats on your admission to Chalmers. This is the start of an exciting new chapter in a beautiful city, and I bet you're looking forward to it. Moving to a new university or even a new country can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone. That's exactly why we're here, to help you settle in and get the best possible start to your time at Chalmers. So, let me tell you a bit about CIRC and what we do. CIRC is short for Chalmers International Reception Committee, and our goal is to make your transition to Chalmers and life in Gothenburg smooth and enjoyable. What we do, we organize events and activities where you can meet new people, adjust to campus life, and feel at home in this vibrant community. We will also assist you with essential practical information during your first few weeks. Now, about the team. Um, Yeah, we're all students just like you who were once new at Chalmers too. We understand what it's like to start fresh. At any point, if you ever need some support or just want to connect, feel free to reach out. We have put together a short video to show you what's coming up as part of a reception.
I'd like to ask our audience whether they can hear the audio. Can you tell me, please, with a reaction, whether you can hear the audio from the video? Seems like that was the end of the video.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. The first few weeks are a great time to explore, learn, and connect with amazing people from all over the world. So make sure to join us. University life is more than just studying. We believe it's also about creating memories and friendships. So, what happens next? Follow us on Instagram and check out our website for updates on upcoming events and important information about the reception weeks. And if you have any questions about student life at Chalmers, settling in, or anything else, just send us an email or you can just text us on Instagram. We're always happy to help. Once again, congrats, and we'd love to meet you on campus soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Varshaa, for that presentation. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, just to get some details out of the way so that those questions don't show up on our Q&A. One, you said something about reception weeks. When does this actually start?
Right after the orientation. So we
And
start with campus tour, and then it goes on for about 2 months, I would say. That's quite long, but we
Yeah.
have tried and planned it in such a way that everyone gets an opportunity to participate and it doesn't clash with the academic plan too.
Wonderful, wonderful. But do you have an idea where in the calendar this falls, on what dates this might start?
Oh, yes, we will be updating our event calendar on our Instagram page and website. So soon, by the end of this month, we'll have everything put up and
Okay.
everyone can check it out.
Wonderful. Another question would be, how do you organize this? Do you have student buddies? What is the setup in which these students get help?
Oh, yes. We are a group of 9, and during our reception weeks, we take help from other students on campus who will sign up as fathers or volunteers who will help guide the new students coming here. So, all of us, like all the new incoming students, will be put into several groups with a few fathers assigned to them, and they will help them to participate in all events or help them with all everyday information they need throughout.
So it is, and fathers are student buddies. Yes, they're current
Yes,
students
yes.
at Chalmers. Yes, it's a
Yes.
Swedish word, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. A couple of other questions. Are all these events free of charge? Are there some events that one needs to pay for, and things like that? And is it mandatory to attend any of these events?
It is not mandatory. Everyone who would like to take part can take part. And about whether it being paid, we try and make sure that it is possible for everyone to attend. But in certain cases, we are collaborating with another company or another team. So in that case, we are required to make it a paid event, but it will be at a very nominal fee that is friendly for students.
Wonderful. And final question for me, your team, your committee, it's called Chalmers International Reception Committee. Does that mean that non-international students, now I mean either European students or for that matter, Swedish students, that they cannot join your committee?
No. It means the International Reception Committee is just to create a sense of a global community at Chalmers, welcoming people from all parts of the world to have an inclusive and a vibrant and warm community at Chalmers is what we aim for. It is not restricted to international students joining Chalmers.
Wonderful. So if I understand you correctly, Swedish students can not only attend your events, they can also join your committee as
Yes.
organizing members later on.
Yes, correct.
Wonderful. Very, very nice. Thank you very much. And please stick around for more for questions. I'm just going to run a couple of other slides and then we open up for questions. Thank you very much, Varshaa.
Thank you.
So last couple of slides that we have this group and community. As I said, you can see that on my bottom side over here on the, on my right bottom corner of the screen, you see a QR code, and you can see that on everybody's camera when they turn their cameras on. You can scan that and it takes you, it's also the same QR code that you see on the screen over there. It takes you to this community. There are a bunch of small groups that we've already created per program. So if you want to find a program, you could find your program and talk to your classmates. You can also talk about other topics. There are smaller groups for accommodation or European students or Latin American students for that matter. You can also create your own groups. So if you look for your group and you don't find one that is relevant to you, you can also suggest and create a new one, in which case we will receive a review request. And if we see that your request is actually valid in the sense that the group you've requested for does not already exist, then we'll simply accept it. Otherwise, we'll simply decline it and you will be able to go find your group once again. That's as far as that is concerned. And then Please ignore the yellow part. That URL is not working, and we seem to have a bit of difficulty getting into bit.ly. So you can ignore the blogs. The blogs are on the Chalmers website. So if you've ever been chatting with a student, or if you've ever been chatting with one of us, then you've already seen where the blogs are. And that's the platform where you can read everything. So simply just go to that Chalmers chat page and you will find our student blogs there. You can also follow us on YouTube and on Instagram. That's where our ambassadors make content. And my colleague Titis manages those ambassadors, and she's actually helping us today with the Q&A as well. So with that, I think we basically come to the last slide, which is the email address once again that I mentioned at the very, very beginning of our presentation. If you have any questions, please reach out. Remember that if you're reaching out to CERC, it's because you're reaching out to them about the reception activities, about student life. That's what you're getting there in touch with them. If you want to get in touch with somebody about, let's say, how it is with finding accommodation or something, you will have an accommodation email address. There's no point in getting in touch with these groups of people. Like, for example, CERC might not be able to give you any advice about accommodation, about scholarships, for example. They can't answer your questions about scholarships and things like that. So if you're ever doubting who you should contact, simply write to us and we'll point you in the right direction. We'll send you to the right people so that you have the best way to get in touch with these people. With that said, I would like to thank you all for having sat through the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to request everybody to turn on their cameras so that we can have a small Q&A session. And for that, I will have to enable the Q&A for you. Let us start by doing this. And there we go. So attendees can submit questions now. Please feel free to ask your questions and we will try to answer your questions as best as we can. I will do the job of sending questions to each of you. So if you have any, if there are any questions that are exactly relevant to let's say, Jörgen, then I will point that to Jörgen and we will have a conversation. Is that cool? Wonderful. I'm just going to try and make myself a little bigger because it felt a little weird that my body was cut off with a yellow something colored wallpaper. Let's see now. Questions. Sebastian, is it possible to find a part-time job in any of the pubs or cafes run by the Student Union? What do you think?
Well, it's certainly not impossible. We recruit new people, well, not every day, but sometimes at least. And it's all available to be applied to if you want to.
Cool. Next, how much Swedish would be needed, Sebastian, to be able to do that?
In one of the restaurants or so on, not much at all. It would be completely fine to mainly speak English. We have quite a few of our coworkers in the restaurant, in the restaurants that actually only speak English.
Cool. And where can we find more information about student clubs? Is there any place where we can find more information about student clubs?
Yes, so we have our webpage, which you can access through www.chs.se. And we have quite a lot of information there, but you can also just reach out to me or anyone else in the management team, and we'll make sure to answer your questions as good as we can.
I have a question for Jörgen here. Jörgen, what kind of topics do you teach? Do you teach?
Actually, since 2 years back, I am not teaching. I'm a full-time vice president. But before, I was teaching in high voltage engineering, a part of electric power engineering, and about lightning and thunder and things like that, and electrical discharges.
Wow.
So I miss teaching a lot as it is now.
That is so sad. But if that is the case, did you have anything to do with the climbing lab? The climbing,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, it was some kind of lab to do with high voltage stuff.
Yeah, that was Chalmers' famous high voltage lab with a voltage up to 2.4 megavolts. And actually, I have when I had presented my PhD, I had dinner at the evening in that lab, and it was really fascinating to have it in a high voltage lab. But now it's a climbing facility.
Right. Yes. Yes. Wonderful stuff. Cool. So it's unfortunate our students will not find you in a classroom when they arrive, but maybe there will be a guest lecture or something. We'll see.
Maybe I will come back. I don't know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Another question we have is, let's see. How much are the membership fees for the student union? Maybe I'll ask Varshaa this question. Varshaa, how much do we pay for membership fees for the student union?
For the fee-paying students, I think it is part of our tuition fee, so we are not required to pay.
Right. And what would the fees be for the other students then, Sebastian?
Well, it's 240 Swedish kronas per semester.
Did you say 240?
240, yes.
Yes, 240 Swedish crowns per semester. That is what is being paid by all the non-fee paying students. So it doesn't matter that you are a scholarship holder, right? If you're a scholarship holder, then you are still a fee paying student, because only fee paying students can get scholarships, so to speak, at Chalmers. There's only one European group, non-fee paying group, that can get a scholarship, and that's Estonian students. And that is, if you are an Estonian student, then you could have applied for the Alfred Otts scholarship. But then you would still pay the student union fee, which is the 240 Swedish crowns per semester. Oh, here's a nice question. Is there an association for jazz musicians?
Not really, not pure or just mainly jazz, but we have some student orchestras that play a lot of brass music. So of course you can join those, but also if you just want to use a music room to play your own jazz or start a band or something, then we can help with that as well.
Right. Or you can get in touch with a couple of our teachers. We've got Torbjörn Lund and Samuel Bengtmark, who actually play a bit of jazz and actually write their own music even. They're teachers in mathematics and learning pedagogy or something, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about the learning pedagogy part. But yeah, they can also be of interest, perhaps. There's a question here that I think any of you can answer. So it's open to all three of you, and maybe there's a discussion to be had. I'm not sure. Will we find research assistantship roles at Chalmers? And if that is the case, I'd like to expand on that question. How does one go about finding such positions? Anybody can turn on their microphone and stop talking. It's a free for all.
I think this question might be best directed to Jörgen, maybe?
Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
And I got a few seconds to think. I guess there will be some possibilities to act as a tutor in courses, but I would say that we don't have so much assistance in research. It can be during the summer maybe, but that is something that we right now are exploring, because we want our students to be more involved in research.
What I know from, have you ever done that, Varshaa? Have you tried to go into an RA or a TA type position, a teaching assistant or a research assistant type position?
No, not yet. I haven't tried that out yet.
But have you
But I
heard
do
of
keep
this?
an eye on our website. I think if there are any availability, or if there is a team looking for an intern or some help, I think they also post it on our website. So that is also something I do look now and then.
Right, right. And I can also say that from my experience, what I've seen is that students sometimes simply talk directly with their teachers, and those teachers might just, it's also part of planting the idea. Sometimes the teacher isn't thinking about it until you actually ask the question. And that point in time, maybe it becomes obvious to the teacher, yes, of course, it might be of help, and then it takes form from there. So these kinds of positions or any kind of part-time work on campus that you're talking about, you need to talk to somebody. Networking helps quite a lot in these cases. Moving on, if we try to find another question that might be interesting. Here's an interesting one. How do students move around on campus? Are they like bikes or scooters? How big is the campus actually? I saw Jörgen turned on his microphone immediately.
Yes. I would like to say that it's a very compact campus. It's situated in the outskirts of the city center. So the city center is in walking distance, and the campus is about 1 kilometer long, stretching from north to south. So you move around by walking, and also very many student apartments is also within walking distances or yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very good point you're making. It's about 1 kilometer to walk the length of it, but when you say it's compact, it's also width-wise, it's very small. I mean, like it's very, very thin, so to speak. It's a long campus, so you going across takes much less time than walking the length of the campus. And I think it might be, if it takes time, it's only because there are buildings in the way. If there were no buildings, then we wouldn't have any problems, but then we would also not have any classrooms. So that's a big issue. Let's not knock down the buildings. There's a question that I can see Sebastian is answering that might actually be of use for us to discuss also. Is it possible to reduce the pace of studies? Take less than 30 credits per semester to engage in a student club, society, etc. Is there any official procedure for that? And this question, I think, is kind of important also looking at it from an outside of student club society perspective also. In general, is it possible to reduce the pace of studies at Chalmers?
I'll just give a general answer about the student union and engaging in different clubs and so on. Usually it's done in your free time without taking time off from your studies. But I think if you want to take time off from your studies, it's probably best to contact the student guidance counselor on how to best do that.
Exactly. Varshaa, for example, is also you're volunteering, aren't you? Cirque is also a volunteering thing, and you are doing this on the side of your studies. So you're not taking time off from your studies to do this.
Yeah.
Exactly. And finally, I can see that Jörgen has his hand up. Yes, Jörgen.
Now, generally, I mean, we have full-time studies at Chalmers, and the studies are very, very condensed. You study in study periods, 2 study periods per semester, and 1 study period is 8 weeks, and then you study 2 subjects, and after that there is an exam week. So it's a very condensed way of studying, as many of you will discover.
Exactly. Also, I think it's important here with Jörgen's answer to add that this will result in many of you possibly, not necessarily, but possibly failing the first exams that you write. And that is totally all right because of the simple fact that, one, you're coming from different educational systems. You're not necessarily used to the Swedish education system. 2, you have just arrived. You have many other things on your mind. You have just arrived from a different country, a different culture. You have to get used to this, what is here. And that might be playing on your mind. And then, of course, the type of exam that you write may not be something you're used to. So there are lots of different factors that go into what's happening, in addition to you having to study at the master's level, right? Education at Chalmers is not the easiest thing you will do, but it will definitely be the fun kind of challenge thing that you will do. Jörgen still has his hand up.
Yeah, I raised it again.
Yes.
As Abhilash said, it's not a catastrophe to fail in an exam, and I would say that, of course, the failure rates varies in the exams, but I would say that a normal failure rate on an exam is about 30%. But you should remember that all exams are given 3 times per year, so you have new additional chances. And even if you we have a grading system with failed, and then we have grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. And you are allowed to retake an exam even if you have once passed it in order to get a higher degree.
Mhm.
So failure in exams is not a catastrophe.
Exactly.
You can
Wonderful.
redo it again.
Wonderful point you're making there, Jörgen. I want to actually go one step further in that question, if that is the case, in that point that you were making. If somebody rewrites an exam, let's say they got a 4 the first time, so they passed the course, of course. The grading scale is from fail 3, 4, 5. They got a 4, but then they decide to rewrite an exam to try and get a 5. But this time they got a 3. What happens?
They keep the grade 4, so you can never lower your grade. You can only increase it.
Wonderful. So if you feel like on a random Saturday you don't have anything else to do, you can rewrite an exam on a semester. Yeah, so feel free to write your exams as many times as you want. You don't have to pay for them either. You simply register for them, right? That's what's important. You must remember to register for your exams. If you miss registering, then you may not be able to write your exam. You will be required to go to the exam with your identification card and your student union card that you will get after you arrive, and then or any identification document along with your student union card, and then you take the exam that you have registered for. There's a question here that's very relevant and important for everybody to hear. Do I need to accept the offer of admission to Chalmers in some way, or am I already fully admitted? So this depends on the type of student that you are, and this is exactly why we have divisions for tomorrow, where there's one session happening in the morning, one happening in the evening, and things like that. But in general, you do not need to accept your admission to Chalmers. You only need to inform us if you are declining your position at Chalmers. So if you've received an admission, whether it says conditional or not, if you've been given an admission, then the point is that you have been admitted. If you complete the conditional aspect, then you have completed the admission part. If you want to decline, that is when you contact us. You do not need to do it otherwise. What else can we find that we can discuss? There might be questions that this has marked for us to bring up. Let's see. Here we are. How far away from the campus is the airport, and what transportation methods can be used to get there? I am going to direct this to Varshaa because she has some secret information about this. Varshaa?
Yes, so we have the arrival date that will be officially announced on the website, and you will also get a mail about it. And Cirque will be present at the airport to pick you up, and then we move to the central station. And from there, we'll have volunteers and other members of Cirque who will help you to get a ticket to the closest station to your accommodation.
Wonderful. So speaking of all of this entire network, so we start with the arrival days, and the arrival days are a couple of days before the orientation starts. Yes?
Yes, it's ideally the week before.
Wonderful. So that means that Cirque is going to be there only on that day, or is it a couple of days maybe?
No, it's just one day.
It's one day. So there's going to be this one day. If you travel to Gothenburg on that day, there will be members from Cirque who are present at the airport to possibly give you a hug. I mean, assuming you want a hug, and assuming they want to give you one, there will be a hug. And then there will be some kind of assistance for you to travel from the airport to the city. And this is usually done using a flight shuttle bus. Yes?
Yes.
So there will be a flight shuttle bus that you can take to get to the city. And once that bus arrives at its destination, you will be there welcomed by other volunteer members who will help you to find your final destination, whichever place you need to go to, your apartment or hotel or Airbnb, whatever you've booked for those first nights, if not for the time afterwards, right?
Yes.
Will they be given any flight shuttle tickets? Is that included? Do we
I
know?
think the trip to Central Station will be taken care by Circ. I mean, accurate information will be on the website and on the
Right.
mail. So I don't want to give any wrong information before, so it's better I keep quiet and let you read it.
Exactly. This is just speculation at this point in time. Wonderful, wonderful. But yes, there will be help, and the distance between the airport and the campus, the airport is about what, 30 minutes from the city center, and if the university is about 10 to 15 minutes from the city center, we are basically in the same radius. So it's not very far from the airport actually. Next question. Let's see. We have 10 minutes left, so we won't be able to answer all questions as we already know this. Here's a question about careers, and I'd like to expand on that topic. I think I saw Sebastian answering a couple of questions about this as well. So the question is basically, how do we as a university, and when I say a university, I'm including the union in that sphere here. How do we as a university, as one Chalmers, how do we help our students find jobs? What are the different avenues that students can take advantage of when they are looking for a job, whatever kind of job that might be? It might be an internship, it might be a summer job, it might be a part-time job, it might be that full-time job at the end of their masters that they're looking for. How do we help these students? The floor is yours.
We, as I said, we have some recruitment services through we have a student-led company that focus a lot of different promotion and how do you say it? Consulting jobs and so on. So you can apply through that if you want to. And they usually have they partner up with a couple different companies to maybe offer summer jobs or so on. But also, if you want to go to the career fair that's in February, usually you can find different internships or summer jobs or maybe master thesis works as well.
Mm. That's a good point you're making. Is there what is the likelihood that you do a thesis at a company?
No, I raised
Sebastian.
my hand. I would
Yes.
say it's a very high likelihood that you will make your master thesis on a company.
Mhm.
So then I really recommend everyone to take part in this fair, Charm, in February.
Mhm.
It seems like that it's quite early on your master program, but it's very important to get in contact with the companies. You can get a summer job, and also very important is to try to find a master thesis project often in a company, and that could be the starting point of an employment with that company.
Right, right.
So I please take part in this fair to try to network with the companies, because they are looking for competence, and they need you.
Right, exactly. One other question here on the topic of a career fair. Charm is not the only career fair that happens on campus, is it?
No, usually the different student divisions arrange their own career fairs as well within mainly their area or field of study. So we have maybe one career fair for physics students and one career fair for chemistry students and so on. So they have a bit more niched companies that might not show up to the general career fair at Chalmers as well.
And in addition to that, there is quite commonly student organized lunch lectures from companies. So I would say that we have a really strong connection with industry.
And I also know for a fact that we have guest lectures from companies. A very typical example is I think Toyota comes and makes a presentation at the quality and operations program, where they talk about the quality practices at Toyota and things. I think these are also opportunities for students to get in touch with industry, even if it sounds like an academic setting. Mhm. So essentially speaking, if we boil all of that down, the way in which we build our career goes back to that point we were making a little while earlier about networking, about raising that question from the very first point to instill an idea in somebody's mind that one is interested, one is attractive to that company, one is attractive to that particular position or that particular area in which the company is working within, and that one has the interest to work with that company, whatever the topic might be. Maybe you have your own interest area that you want to explore. Maybe you have a question that you burn for, and perhaps you bring that to the table and show them that you are the candidate that they are looking for. But it starts with you. It starts with you asking the question and raising that flag, so to speak, so that they see it. 5 minutes left. We will find one final question to discuss, and then we will close. And we have the perfect question here, and I think it is. The questions just keep jumping up and down, and you kind of miss it where it is. Let me just try to find it once again, because I felt it was stated in such a nice way. Where is it? Damn it, I lost it. Okay, but I know the gist of the question, and I think I'd like to start with you, Varshaa, for this question. And then of course there will be points that I'm sure Jörgen and Sebastian can come in with. And the question is this: what tips do you have? How does one adjust to a new life in Gothenburg? So an international's perspective and then a Swede's perspective.
I think all of us are going to take our own sweet time with it. It is now going to be, we don't have a universal formula to it. But as a reception committee, and our primary goal is helping you to settle in, not just with Chalmers as a student, but also get familiar with the city. We will give you some ideas or even organize activities where you'll be able to get to different parts of the city. So you'll be able to move in and around with your friends and few fathers who are quite familiar by now. We hope we are familiar with the city by now. So that will give a glimpse of about how things work here, about the culture, and how you can connect better and even adapt and integrate with our new setting.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Varshaa. Almost closing remarks. Wonderful. Very well done. Thank you very much. What do you have for us, Jörgen and Sebastian? Which of you would like to go first?
I would like to say that the most important thing is to participate in the reception and try to make friends, because that will be very, very important for your studies. I mean, in the beginning, everyone is looking for friends. So then also you should look for friends, and you will discover that a lot of the education is done maybe in pairs or in project groups and so on. So I mean, I think the most important to have a success in the studies is to start to build a network around you and to make friends and study together and to help each other.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for that great advice there, Jörgen. Sebastian, I'm guessing you have the last word today.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Jörgen. I think the reception period is really something amazing, and that's really when you get to know a lot of people. I mean, even me, who is basically from Gothenburg, met a lot of new people during my reception, and it was just so much fun, and you really get to know people for life. So I would really recommend attending the reception as much as you can.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Sebastian, for those words. I think there is something to be taken here, right? Empathy is where it starts. If you think of yourself as being in trouble, then you can imagine everybody else is also in trouble. So if you simply offer help, you will also receive help. So look for that, and you will definitely find friends. It's the best way to kind of feel safe and uh, and at home here. My piece of advice would also be try to make friends outside of your secure group. You are going to an international university. It is an opportunity to make friends from other parts of the world and not just simply stick to your own countryman or your own culture. Find people from outside of that group so that you actually build that global network that you're trying to build. That's what you're coming here for. So try and do that. And I have a nice little comment from my colleague Titis, who said, I can agree to that. I made a lot of friends during my reception. So there you go, 4 people that agree with each other. So that's 100 on 100. So let's just use that advice. Come here and make friends. With that said, I'd like to say thank you to every one of you for having attended this webinar. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much, Jörgen, Sebastian, Varshaa, Linda, Titis, and Cecilia for being here. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a very nice rest of your day. And for those of you that are attending, I will see you tomorrow, either at 10 in the morning Swedish time or at 3 p.m. Swedish time. Until then, bye-bye. Take care and join the community. Don't forget, join the community. Bye-bye.